And today I want to talk about the topic of confidence. Now, confidence oftentimes is misunderstood, and you may ask yourself, well, why should we talk about confidence in the terms of autism? Well, confidence is under attack constantly as being a parent or a caregiver or someone that has autism. And let me create the distinctions about crisis of confidence or confidence being under attack. As a parent or a caregiver, when we're interacting with other people out in the public, oftentimes we may get stares from people who don't understand that the person that we care about who has autism is adversely affected by noises or sounds, or maybe it's a new environment. We also have attacks on our confidence when we question or wonder if the decisions that we're making for the person that we care for that has autism are actually the correct decisions to make. Is it pushing too hard, too fast? Is it too much, too soon? All of those things attack our confidence. And ultimately, as parents and caregivers, we know, oftentimes intuitively, what we believe is best for that person that we care for, because we care for them day in and day out. And I've often said, even as a parent of Tyler, who now is 23 years old, I still live in fear almost every day because I'm a parent, I'm a father. Our confidence also is under attack potentially in the school system, where we are trying to defend the rights of the person that we care for to make sure that they get the appropriate services that they need in order to be successful in their educational environment. So we may be in conversations with teachers or parapros or school administrators, principals, therapists that are working with our child, and they are saying this is the way that we need to go, or your services are potentially not available, or that these are the things that the person that you care for, that that's what they need, but maybe they're unable to provide those things, and you need to come up with a creative, collaborative way to work through that. So those all are potentials for the challenge of your confidence. So again, that confidence allows you to be open to new ideas, and it also really allows you to learn anything, respond to any stimulus that comes in. You can respond appropriately and confidently, and it allows you really to go out and put yourself and the person that you care for in the very best position. But when you lack confidence, lacking confidence becomes a huge barrier because you're in the protection mode. You're shut down. It doesn't really leave you open to learn new things because you don't have a confidence that you actually can understand. So through education, through webinars just like this, you have the ability to continually learn and therefore increase your confidence. So what really is confidence? Well, confidence is defined as actually a feeling or belief that you can do something well or that you could succeed at something. So we have to ask ourselves that question. Do I feel that I actually am doing well by the person that I care for who is affected by autism? Do I feel like I'm succeeding? Confidence is also the belief that something actually is good. That you are doing a good job. Confidence also has to do with faith, a certainty that something actually is going to happen and will be true. It's a belief system that says, I know that we can accomplish these things. I know that I can create a change or a difference for the better that will improve the life of someone who has autism, someone who I care for that has autism. But the reality of it is that confidence isn't really something that can kind of come and go at a whim. Confidence is actually a capability. It's a skill set that we can develop. It's something that we can create, and we're going to go over some of those strategies to create confidence where maybe you have lacked confidence in the past, but then also how you can create a constant supply of confidence, because remember, we need that. Now, we're never going to be doing this perfectly. In fact, getting on yourself to say, oh my goodness, I went through this program about confidence and I'm still lacking confidence. And again, you can oftentimes become your own worst enemy in that, because you lack confidence about confidence. Well, give yourself some grace, because welcome to the human condition. Every day our confidence is under attack. When we can transform, when we can change that fear into action and say, you know what, I've really taken a look at everything. I've thought of all of these things. I've analyzed all of that. I've been in communication with other people about that. I've sought the appropriate advice, and now I'm going to take action, even in place of fear. When we start to use our confidence to transform what we are fearful for, what we perceive as a potential danger, we actually then can use that as an opportunity, because we recognize that and say, wow, okay, I'm fearful over this. I'm lacking a bit of confidence. But now I can actually start moving through that and really start coming up with some creative ideas. What really were all these setbacks, because I was having a hard time helping Tyler to understand or providing a framework by which he could be successful in, all of a sudden then those small little things started creating breakthroughs. And that's because at some point you have to generate that confidence that I can, as a parent, do this. Now, I suffer from crisis of confidence every day. I feel inadequate as a dad every day. I'm looking for ways to take those fears about, will my son have meaningful relationships, and will my son be able to do the things that, and again, I still hold out ideals, but I also know that fear I can transform into other actions to create things that really would help him. So confidence is absolutely essential. It allows us to continue to expand and actually create a better future for ourselves and those that we care for. But it's also very easy to get overwhelmed. And when we're overwhelmed, we are unable to make decisions. We're going to have setbacks. We always are going to have crisis of confidence, as I've said before. So what happens? What can you do? Well, first of all, you have to recognize that you're having a crisis of confidence. Autism tends to be a very isolating thing for whatever reason. And so when we experience this crisis of confidence, and when we experience what we consider major setbacks, so maybe that's a health condition, maybe that's a failure to progress to this ideal, maybe the progress just is not being made that we really hope and felt that we where we would be. Maybe it's this desperation to find language. Maybe it's classroom behavior that's just not conducive to your person that you care for staying in an educational environment. Maybe it's having to consider other options. Maybe it's just simply trying to get the person that you care for to eat something other than 6 things for 10 years or 12 years of their life. So all of those things can be setbacks, but to the extent that those setbacks debilitate us, we actually can transform it by recognizing, in fact, it is a setback, and they can actually give us the biggest opportunities to transform our situation. So when we really get to that point to where we have had a major setback or a major breakdown, and we recognize it for what it is, from that, amazing things can happen. You can sit and take a look at those setbacks and say, okay, well, let's, what worked, what didn't work? Well, let's not continue to do the things that aren't working, and let's start to do the things that are going to work. Well, I don't know what those are. I'm overwhelmed. Well, there are strategies that you can employ from educational programs like this, learning best practices from other people, to say, okay, well, let's try this thing. And after you try enough things, something is going to help. Something is going to make that difference. Something is going to create that breakthrough for yourself and the person that you care for that has autism. But you just have to keep going. So you have the ability to actually create your own confidence. So how do you do that? Well, when you create your own confidence, it really stems from your ability to measure the successes that you have. No matter how small they may be, I will guarantee you that you have successes that you are enjoying right now, or maybe not enjoying, or maybe not recognizing, but there are successes. There are these little breakthroughs, no matter how ever slight they may be, that will create a new possibility to allow you to increase your confidence. I challenge you for the next 7 days that at the end of the day, simply write down one thing that was your win. Now, you may decide to take extra credit. And again, depending on the type of person you are, I challenge you to do it for 1 day or 7 days. It's something that you are proud of, anything that you felt like, wow, you know what, this is a win for me. Now, what that does for you is that allows you to go back, and you now have a written record that when times are tough, you can go back and say, whoa, hold on just a second. I actually do have some wins. Wow, you know what? I actually am making progress. So your mind starts to create this shift. It's looking now for these wins because you know at the end of the day, you're going to have to document them. So your perception starts to change, and you start looking for the positive things in the person that you care for that has autism as well. It changes your mindset, and you start focusing on the progress that you're going to make versus this ideal, constantly looking at, well, I'm not meeting my ideal. The person that I care for is not meeting my ideal. It will allow them and you to get bigger and better results as time goes on, because the mindset and the focus is shifting from an ideal that maybe seems unachievable to now these achievable wins. So it's the ability to transform this fear, to really make decisions in the place of fear to be able to move forward. It takes all of the things that we perceive as being dangerous or that we're in fear from and turns them really into opportunities to make progress. So I challenge you, keep track just today, for the next 7 days, the next 14, 21 days, create a habit of documenting the 1 or 2 or 3 things that were the win for you today. And when you do that, you will build up case, you will build up evidence of your success. And that success, those wins, will ever increase your confidence. And if you can employ that as a strategy, it will transform your relationship with the person that you care about that has autism. It will allow you to actually start teaching that capability to them as well. And that confidence will allow them to stand up against bullies. It will allow them to be accepting of autism. It will allow them to deal with their anger. It has such extraordinary benefit teaching them how to have confidence that's real, that's based upon evidence, that's not feeling based, but it actually is capability based. When you can do that, this one thing is an extraordinary gift that you can give to yourself and that you can give to the person that you care for that has autism. So again, thank you, and appreciate you being part of our community, and look forward to the next time that we can have a discussion.